Released by Capcom in the year 2000 on the Sony PlayStation, Resident Evil Survivor would be a side story installment for Resident Evil done entirely as a first-person shooter. Directed by Hiroyuki Kai and written by series regular Noboru Sugimura, this short game was built with assets from Resident Evil 2, and was meant to be used with a light gun peripheral for the PlayStation. For story, we are introduced to a new protagonist that would only appear in this adventure, though it is a canon story that ties to the rest of the main franchise. For gameplay, combat and exploration is entirely in first person, with an emphasis on gunplay and almost none on puzzles or exploration. There is unlimited inventory space as well as ammunition for the pistol, though there is still limited health and special ammunition to promote some sense of survival. Although the game is relatively short, it offers multiple choices of routes, so there is some replayability. The story only gets large from here, so let's cut it down to size with RECAPitation. The game takes place 4 months after the Raccoon City outbreak disaster, where we see two men struggling against each other. One man falls from the helicopter he's clinging to, and another man miraculously survives the ensuing helicopter crash. He gets up with a throbbing headache and no memory of anything, but with gun in hand he somehow remembers he must survive an outbreak that occurred here. He comes across the body of the man who fell earlier and sees these clutching dog tags that say Ark Thompson on them, but a zombie coming up from behind him forces him to focus on escaping danger first. Seeing he's in some sort of Umbrella facility, he reads reports sent in from Nikolai, the Umbrella private military commander and observer from Resident Evil 3, and learns of the earlier biohazard outbreak in the Spencer Mansion and Raccoon City. A similar outbreak is occurring now as the man must fight against infected zombies, dogs, spiders, and lickers to progress. He answers a phone call in which the caller calls him Vincent and accuses him of being a murderer, forcing the man to think his name must be Vincent, but wondered who he killed. He's unknowingly being watched by another man in a control center who is keen to make sure Vincent doesn't escape, but sees Umbrella has already sent a cleanup crew for the current incident. The man sends one of the T-103 mass production model tyrants after Vincent, who is backed to a wall trying to fend it off. The Umbrella crew now arrives, rappelling down and are firmly committed to their mission of cleansing the city, including Vincent, though they use very humanoid BOWs themselves called Undertakers. In addition, Vincent is now under fire from another man who has some sort of personal vendetta against him and claims Vincent is responsible for this whole mess, leaving him to deal with the Hunter BOW. After learning more about the additional experiments here to expand BOW research, Vincent moves down into the sewers. There he finds more information about himself, that he's the supreme commander of this city, an elite sent by Umbrella directly, and apparently a ruthless man importing in children from around the globe for experimentation. He finds a picture of himself in a desk basically confirming he is Vincent, much to his shock, and at this time a teenager wanders into the room and is scared away immediately by Vincent. Eventually, he finds cells with dead prisoners within, and a journal confirming teenagers around the world have been abducted to be used for experimenting and harvesting in a factory nearby. Encountering an unusually high number of controlled tyrants, Vincent finds the control center Umbrella has been using to control the entire island. He has a sudden headache as some memories return to him, but they make little sense for now. Taking the elevator up to the 13th floor, he finds a large office, wherein he sees a normal kid on a security monitor and calls out to him. This office reminds him of another struggle from his lost memories, and he finds a personal journal detailing how there was an attempted prison break, and he not only killed all escapees but ordered a cover-up of the incident. Dissenters saw this as an opportunity to discredit him in front of Umbrella, so he then chose to spread the T-virus among the city, make it look like an accident, and escape with his reputation intact. He also learns there was a spy that snuck in earlier and likely influenced the prison break to begin with. He finds a control center with the kids he spotted before, who turn out to be a brother and sister pair, who immediately distrust him and flee. He follows them to a shallow river and then to a residency, wherein he learns the boy's name is Lot, who was a friend of Vincent, and the girl is named Lily. During the outbreak, they lost their parents and have been trying to escape since. He finds Lily hiding in a closet, who calms down now and tells him Lot is trying to find a means of escape in the factory, but fears the monsters there will kill him. Vincent resolves that regardless of what he did and cannot remember, he's not that person now and chooses to save these kids. As he makes his way to the factory, he learns they cut open the skulls of the kids they abducted in order to obtain a very specific part of the brain for a very specific hormone they need in order to ideally grow BOWs, notably tyrants. Soon he finds Lot just in time as he tumbles over the edge of a railing after almost getting killed by a hunter. Helping the boy up, he apologizes for his actions as Vincent causing this disaster, but Lot stops him, informing him he's not Vincent, but instead the detective Ark Thompson, who was helping rescuing the kids to begin with. It was true, however, that Ark was posing as Vincent to underlings in the factory in order to get information about the facility, but Lot was friends with the actual Commander Vincent, so he knew Ark was an imposter, and originally told the Commander about him as a spy, thus why he ran from Ark when he first saw him. Ark is relieved he's not the devious Commander after all, but when Lot tells him of an underground railway ahead, Ark offers to clear the way. Suddenly, an alert rings out that the island's self-destruct sequence has been activated, and as he moves forward, Ark begins remembering things again, like how it was his friend Leon Kennedy who sent him here to investigate. He remembers too how Vincent Cotton confronted him, and in his escape he jumped aboard a helicopter to get away, and Vincent clung onto it, though it would lead to his literal fall. In truth, Vincent was running a Tyrant production plant here on Sheena Island, researching new ways to mass-produce the prized Tyrant BOW for Umbrella, and exploring one means that meant harvesting teenagers for a specific pituitary hormone. Moving towards the train, he's stopped at gunpoint by the real Vincent, who somehow survived a helicopter crash and sicked the Tyrants on the island on Ark originally. But right when he's about to finally kill Ark, he's instead gouged from behind by a new experimental Tyrant freshly escaped from his pod that Vincent ironically designed himself. Ark manages to stagger this Hypnos T-type, but it isn't long before it's back on its feet. He makes it back to Lot and Lily, who are waiting by the train, and together they manage to escape to an outside helipad. The Hypnos Tyrant leaps down, having followed him here, and fighting it only further mutates it into a stronger form. Finally ending Vincent's prize experiment, Ark gets on the helicopter with Lot and Lily, and together they all lift off just in time before Sheena Island explodes, burying Vincent's betrayal, but also ending a key factory for Umbrella. As the game ends, the Hypnos has managed to survive and grab hold of their helicopter, but one missile to shoot away the Tyrant and another to definitely end the threat finally closes the nightmare for Ark as they fly away to an unknown fate. Resident Evil Survivor has enjoyed the success of selling over 700,000 copies worldwide.